So let's talk about what these products are. Well, when they first came on the market, say 10, 12 years ago, this sort of first generation, they look like little plastic cigarettes, almost like a toy cigarette. They even had like a little fake light on the end so that when you inhaled on it, it would light up and give you that maybe real experience of the glowing ember. Those really didn't take off. They were not sort of the popular products we're seeing on the market today. The second generation, you're talking about a sort of cartridge, pre-filled or refillable. And they often look like a battery pen. You've probably seen these, are quite big. Some people even wear them on a lanyard. You have to know what you're doing to use these products. You've got to usually fill them yourself. You've got to source those products from somewhere. Again, kind of a niche audience, particularly here in New South Wales and Australia. This third generation product, what we call it, say a tank style vaping device or e-cigarette, is really quite big and clunky, and you really do have to know how to use these products. You can't just get it off the shelf and start inhaling it and using it. You can modify the voltage and the watts. These are the ones, if you've ever walked through a crowd of people, someone's using these, you get those massive vape clouds. Have you seen that? Again, niche audience, not something we're alarmed about your average 14-year-old taking up. But then we get to this fourth generation, sometimes called a pod mod. And these are, you can see here, they look like highlighters or potentially little USB sticks. And they often either will come pre-filled or you can buy little pods that you snap in and out of them. This is when we start to see young people really taking these products up. And that's intentional because these products were marketed to young people, designed with young people in mind, and they are not difficult to use. They're really easy to use. You can buy it off the shelf, pull off a little sticker, and start inhaling it immediately. And so what we have today, the sort of pinnacle development of the e-cigarette vaping industry, and that's a point I will just make. If someone says e-cigarette and vape, they're usually referring to the same product. I know it can get kind of confusing with all the terms that are thrown around, or electronic nicotine device or electronic non-nicotine device. This is what we mean. If it's got a battery and some liquid and you inhale it, it's an e-cigarette or a vaping product. So these are disposable, flavored, usually contain nicotine in a nicotine salt form. They are incredibly inexpensive and they're readily available. And if you look at them here on the screen with their bright colors and their flavors like cola soda, peach ice, blueberry, I don't think you need a marketing degree to sort of figure out who these are being pitched at. It's not incredibly sophisticated. I have an 11-year-old son, and I remember we were walking down the street one day and he stopped dead in his tracks. He's like, "Mom, I smell maple syrup and pancakes." And right in front of us was a group of young people vaping away. And that's what he could smell, was maple syrup and pancakes. So they are also fun and easy to use. So here's a couple more products. We've got a strawberry watermelon. Now this product here is rechargeable, but it's not refillable. It's still a disposable device. So you buy it, it's got so much liquid in it that you can't possibly use it all without recharging the battery. So you've got to put the battery into the wall, charge it up so you can finish it off. But when you finish it, you toss it out and you buy a new one. So it's still a disposable device. Anyone here like juicy fruit gum? Oh, I had it as a kid. It's no shame in that. It's allowed. No dentist among us to tell us off. So we've got a copycat product here. I'm not at all implying the manufacturers of juicy fruit have made this product, just to be very clear about that. But you can see, oh, let's make it look like a flavor that children are already aware of, that they already enjoy. And I couldn't believe it when I smelled this. It smells exactly like juicy fruit gum. And all those sort of memories of snapping my gum and blowing bubbles came back to me. Targeted marketing. So this product here, you can see saluting the tough guys with real stuff. Blueberry ice. Let's try it. This is a manly vape for manly men. Blueberry ice. But you can see why I bring this up is this is called, so this device here, you can see the sort of, fierce looking icon on it. This device is being marketed as containing 10,000 puffs. That's what that 10,000 on the box means. Let's think about a cigarette has on average, say 10 puffs on it. You've got to sit down, you're going to smoke a cigarette, probably going to get 10 puffs out of it, right? 20 cigarettes in a pack, That simple math we can all do. 20 times 10, 200 puffs in a pack of cigarettes. 10,000 puffs in one device. That's incredible. It's an astonishing product. And look at who it's marketed at, right? These are not just products for, you know, I've heard some people say, well, aren't vapes, they're kind of for women, aren't they? They're kind of a feminine product. I'm like, no, these are for everybody. When there's a market, there's a product to be marketed to these people. What is the claimed purpose? Manufacturers of these products, particularly our global multinational tobacco companies, claim they are for adult smokers who've tried everything they can to quit smoking, and with the support and advice of a health professional, using vaping products to completely swap cigarettes for vaping products. That's what they're supposed to be for. That's why the vaping industry says they're around. That's why the tobacco industry says they need to be even more freely marketed, that you shouldn't have to go through a health professional, that these are for adult smokers to get them to quit smoking, that they are a safe product. That's the only people they're for. I've just shown you a whole lot of packaging and marketing and designs that I think stretches the belief of who these products are actually for. I think this is pretty much clear. This is untrue. They're speaking out both sides of their mouth. They want to be able to claim these products are to help people, to get people who've tried everything they can to quit. But on the other side, they're marketing them to vulnerable young people. They're marketed to and used by young people who have never smoked. We've had incredible success in tobacco control in New South Wales and in Australia. Young people are smoking in incredibly low numbers. The idea that smoking is so inevitable for these people that we have to have vaping products on the market as a smoking prevention tool, I think is ludicrous. The only thing that young people should be breathing is fresh air. And we can do that if we take a public health approach to this problem. We do not need vapes on the market, mass available to everyone to prevent young people from smoking. What are some of the other tobacco industry tactics that are being employed in this space? This is an ad that appeared on Facebook around the same time that we had the Therapeutic Goods Authority, excuse me, administration, conducting their consultation around what we should do about vaping laws. And these ads started popping up. Vaping laws, it's time to act. Sign the petition now. You dig a little deeper. Responsible Vaping Australia is British American tobacco. You click through on this to the website, you have to dig pretty hard into sort of the terms and conditions and the privacy policy to find out who is actually funding Responsible Vaping Australia. And this is like a tactic that's as old as the hills. The tobacco industry has long funded front groups, supposedly grassroots organizations, more palatable public-facing retailers to do their dirty work. That's exactly what they've done here. And when this ad appeared on Facebook, there was no disclaimer about who had paid for this ad. And Facebook requires that after an ad has started running, we determine that the ad was about social issues, elections, or politics and required this label. The ad has been taken down. And that's because of the hard work of some of the people in this room complaining about these ads. But I know they are popping up absolutely everywhere. They're trying to influence public health policy, and they're trying to do it under the guise of a respectable organization that's made up of small retailers, when really it's a transnational tobacco company who wants to be able to move into Australia and sell its products everywhere. Just this morning, there was a news article about a paper I have coming out on news.com. This is the headline: Tobacco Control Expert Calls for Australia to Ban Vaping Products. And look at the ad that appeared at the top of the article: Responsible Vaping Australia. So obviously some keywords have been set up here to try and have these ads appear. They are absolute masters at marketing. The tobacco industry, I mean, really, I bow down to them. They are fantastic at marketing. You can't deny that. It doesn't mean I like it or that we need to appreciate it, but we do need to acknowledge it. International Women's Day, just last week. This is from the Instagram account of Views Worldwide. Views is a vaping product made by British American Tobacco. And what British American Tobacco wants, which they're lobbying for through the Legalize Vaping Australia, is to be able to sell this product on the open market in Australia. They don't want it controlled so that only adults with a prescription can get their hands on it. They want it to be sold at our corner shops legally, and so that they can do campaigns like this. We've had the pleasure of collaborating with some amazing women creators. We look forward to giving a platform to more incredible women to showcase their creativity in the future. And I don't think you can see it, but in that little tiny text underneath International Women's Day, it says this product is restricted to 18-year-olds only and contains nicotine. No mention of the vaping product in the ad. It's all about celebrating women in the creative arts. Not to leave the boys behind, we've got the women like Formula One as well. We've got the Views sponsors, Formula One team, McLaren Formula One team. Now, some of you were probably enjoyed watching Formula One when we had tobacco company sponsorship on the cars, when they used to be the Marlboro cars and the Lucky Strike. This is just being recycled all over again. Such an effective partnership. Study released just last week that the amount of marketing that Drive to Survive is giving Views, remember Views is the British American tobacco vaping product, because it appears on the Formula One cars, is an astonishing return on investment.